Kindness counts. Welcome to Christian Lens, and this week we're celebrating the act of kindness. I read an article this week about an ambulance that was tending to a patient, and when they got back to the ambulance there was a note with £10, and the note quoted in the article, and it said this: "Hey, you're blocking our driveway, no worries, go have a coffee." The ambulance driver was quoted to say that this uplifted him that day and it restored his faith in humanity. Further down the article, it noted that people actually leave very inconsiderate and rude notes on ambulances whilst they're attending to someone which might be life or death. This reminded me of the famous story in the Bible about the Good Samaritan, the two people that walked by, but the one that was bothered to stop. Now, I don't know what kind of person you feel like you have been this week, whether you regret your unintentional and reactions, or inconsiderate for that matter, or you might be proud you might have been very considerate and responded. As a Christian, I don't have all the answers, but you know what? I think what bothers me more, and what bothers us often, is that we're too busy to be bothered. But in our busyness, we get wound up and we're actually more bothered about our busyness. And as I came to look, I had a nudge in my spirit: just stop and be intentional. That is what intentional means: to stop, to listen, to think, and respond. See, I'm amazed at how awesome God is, that He's both so vast, looking and holding the universe together, but at the same time, He breaks into our world with a nudge, with a thought, with an act of kindness, an opportunity that changes someone's world. That's where I'm reminded of the Good Samaritan. Two people that walked by were probably very intentional about getting on with their day and making it. But one was bothered to stop, intentional about thinking, and perhaps in those days, if they had a phone, they had to actually look away from their phone and actually stop looking at the calendar and perhaps plan some time in to be interrupted. That Samaritan stopped and tended to that person. So my challenge to you and for me this week is to allow God to break out in acts of kindness. I call them divine interruptions. They seem absolutely pointless, but in the end, at the end of that day, they become the very point and the purpose of our day. So I read in Ephesians 5 just this about being wise. And I think and I believe that being intentional is wise. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. God has something good to break out in our world. If only we'll be intentional about how we go about our day. Stop, listen, think, and respond. An act of kindness could lift someone's world and change the decision and how they might go about their life that day.